In my view, this was yet another major Apple event where essentially nothing major happened. And I'm saying that less as criticism as an observation. We did not get a major new product. This is an event where I think new iPhones have been unveiled for the first time, for example. And so what we got was a redesign of iOS 7, which is significant. And we got a new version of the Mac operating system, OS 10 Mavericks, which is significant. We got the iTunes Radio, not iRadio, which people thought it was going to be called. And really, that's about it.
While I agree with you on OS X and the MacBook Air, I think that the iOS 7 update was a lot bigger. I consider it more of an overhaul than a redesign. It's not just that they put a new skin on the apps. They really reconceived a lot of the core apps from the ground up, and they built in a new framework that I think sets Apple up for the next 5 to 10 years of smartphones. It's a foundation for the future.
Okay. And I don't disagree with any of that. I thought, for example, the fact that they released a whole bunch of new icons, like to Apple people, that's a big deal. Steve Jobs obsessed over icons. He was very reluctant to change the icons on the home screen, for example, of iOS. And they came out with a whole bunch of new icons today that are very pretty. Johnny Ive introduced them in a video, though he didn't speak about them on stage. And for Apple, this is a big deal. I think this is their way of saying we're moving on. We're going into the future. What didn't they do that surprised or disappointed you?
I was really hoping to see an open app ecosystem make its way to Apple TV. I think the time is right with Microsoft and Roku coming with their products and expanding what they offer. And Apple still has not done that. I think it's a good opportunity for them, and I'm hoping that we'll see it in the future. But that was definitely a disappointment for me. What about you?
My expectations were fairly low for the event, and I think they were met. When I was sitting there when they were getting started, and I was watching the executives mill around, and I saw Steve Jobs' widow, Lorene Paul Jobs, walk in, I thought to myself, just maybe something extraordinary is going to happen today. Maybe there will be that TV set or some other product that none of us, have the imagination or creativity to think about, but they didn't. And again, I'm not necessarily being critical, but I was looking for some wow factor. They didn't do a one more thing. And again, I'm not criticizing them for it. I think it gets cheesy if you do one more thing too often, and if you're not Steve Jobs and you're going to try to do one more thing, you better pull it off.
Right.
But they didn't.